That's way more water than what I was getting out of the T-500. What's up, guys? It's Captain Erik Tilson, and today is boat maintenance day. I've already done one of them, got another one to do. We're replacing the aerator pumps, the aerator fill pumps in my 2011 Phoenix 619, and it's not fun. But hopefully in this video, I'll show you guys at least how I go about doing it. That way, in case y'all have to replace your Attwood T-500 or Attwood T-800 aerator pumps with through-hole fittings, maybe this video will help you guys out. So you guys stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys how to replace your Attwood through-hole fitting aerator Livewell fill pumps. All right, guys, so start this video off, a little bit of intro here. I've already removed that plate right there and that prop right there, and that emergency box right there is usually all sitting right here, and the hydraulic hoses for my Raptors are usually all sitting right here as well. All that's already came out, leaving onboard charger and the wires. All of these wires, all is just hot and negatives to each pump in here. Phoenix has a bilge pump. Mine only has one, some have two. You've got in the very bottom of the bilge area here, this is one of the new ones that I replaced, and it's got the through-hole fittings. You've got your Livewell starboard and port. This would be starboard, this would be port. These are going to be your aerator fill pumps. Those are the pumps that fill the Livewells with water. Now my boat came with the T-500s all the way around, which is what that is. I am replacing them with T-800s. I'm not a fan of how long it takes to fill the Livewells with water. And I'm also eventually going to be replacing the Livewell pump outs with T-800s as well. So when I go to pump the Livewells out, especially to fill a weigh-in bag, it takes forever. They don't pump out real fast. So today we are going to be removing that guy right there, that old Attwood T8 or T500. All right, guys, so here is, this is not all inclusive, but roughly this is what you're going to need to do this job. You're going to need your new Attwood T800. You have to do some very, very easy electrical wiring. It's just two wires. We're going to be cutting, butt splicing, and heat shrinking the new one in. You need a lighter for your heat shrink. Disclaimer: bilge areas of boats can hold fumes. With that being said, this has been open and airing out, and I also know, because I keep an eye on this kind of stuff, my gas tank does not leak. You have to use caution when reaching down into the bilge of a boat and igniting a flame. Bilge areas of boats hold fumes. Fumes can be explosive. You can catch things on fire. Bilge area of your boat should be clean, free of things that easily ignite, free of fumes. Basically, when you go to heat shrink those heat shrinks onto your butt splices, make sure there's nothing in the bilge area of your boat that's going to catch on fire or explode. You're going to need a Sharpie because this is way too long. So after this gets installed, when we run the nut on there and tighten it all the way up, we're going to be making a mark and using this to cut the excess off so that we can thread our screen back on. You're going to need a sealant. Again, this goes through the hull of your boat. You have an open hole in the hull, that's going through. This is not a finished product unless you are using a bunch of this. Now, I personally like the Loctite PL Marine Fast Cure stuff. Look, I'm a guide, I got trips. 3M 5200 is probably the best. Problem with 3M 5200 is cure time on 3M 5200, 7 days. 7 days to cure for 3M 5200. I don't have 7 days to wait. Loctite, adhesive sealant, marine fast cure, 4 through hole fastening and deck fittings, 24 hours. Always some towels, things get wet. When you go to start installing new stuff in the bilge of your boat, you don't want anything to be wet. Moisture is not good. You want a good, clean, and dry surface to be applying this stuff to for optimum results. You will need a pretty basic pair of channel locks because when we run the nut back on this to secure this to the boat, you got to get it tight, but not too tight. It is a plastic nut. So I have to warn you guys, if you over tighten that nut, it will crack. And if it cracks, it's not good. You're gonna need long, skinny, pointy things. One, because the hose that goes on the hose barb for that is probably fastened to that hose barb fitting with a hose clamp. So we will need to loosen the hose clamp, remove the hose. But for the removal of the old housing, it is a booger to get it out. The old 3M 5200 that is in there, holding that booger in place is some serious stuff. Long pointy things help a lot. But, disclaimer guys, a little warning, a little cautionary warning. If boat's anything like mine, you've got all kinds of hoses down here, all of which are there to transport water either from outside your boat to inside your boat or from inside your boat to outside the boat. If you get in here and you start digging around and jabbing and sending sharp, pointy things, razor blades, scraper tools, all kinds of stuff like that in and around here, and you slice one of those hoses and you don't know that you sliced one of those hoses, you're going to find out the next time you put the boat in the water. So, we use relatively dull, long, skinny, pointy things. Now, the last one came out not too bad with the help of the old trusty rubber mallet. The end of the old fitting. All right guys, so here's our new Attwood T-800. This is the full assembly. This is how it's going to come out of the package. This is going to be your pump, housing, through hole fitting. Kit's going to come with your hose barb attachment, which screws onto the upright part of this. Go ahead and put this on because it shouldn't be in the way. Now on my boat, the housing, this goes through the hole, out the back of the boat. Now I've got a hose coming down from the live well It goes onto this hose barb fitting. So I want that hose barb fitting turned pretty much going away from the pump, like you see here. Now, the way that the Attwood pump cartridges attach into the housings, they're slotted on both sides. You got a slot here and you've got a slot here. But there's only a little red compression tab on one side of the pump. To remove your aerator pump from your housing, all you got to do is, first thing I recommend doing is kind of twist that pump around a little bit, kind of get it moving. But that pump is going to remove by rotating it counterclockwise out of the housing. So I'm going to press that tab in and rotate this pump counterclockwise, and it just rotates right out. So basically, what we've got to do right now is we got to reach down into the bilge area of the boat. And I have to do that with that old one. And I'm going to attempt to do it while holding the camera in there, but it's going to be a nightmare. I'm about to remove the hose. This is my starboard side Livewell fill hose. We're going to remove that from the hose barb. All right, so we've got our hose clamp removed from the hose. So now we've got to get the hose off of that barbed fitting. Out there. And then I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this old hose barb fitting. That way it's just one less thing in the way. We are going to get the old pump cartridge out. And unfortunately, the tab that we have to compress is on the bottom side. We've got a slot in the housing on the top, and we've got another one on the bottom. And the compression tab is on the bottom, so I've got to get that compressed and rotate this pump counterclockwise. Boom, come right up. Just like that. These are the wires going to the pump. All the way down. So there's the old connections. We're going to cut right there. Now I've got the power shut off to this, but I mean it doesn't matter, but we're going to cut that. Got that. Now this pump still works, but as cheap as these things are, we're going to take our old wires and a trusty pair of wire strippers here, and we're going to strip just enough off the end of it to go into a butt splice. Don't want a whole lot sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, that piece of plastic wire that just came off of there, we're going to grab that and get that out, because we don't want that in the bilge area of the boat. A really good idea to keep little plastic debris out of the bilge area of your boat. And I'm going to go ahead and slide some appropriately sized heat shrink tubing onto the wire. That way it's on there. Come back and heat shrink this later. I'm going to place a butt splice connector onto this wire, make sure it's seated well, and I'm going to crimp this end of it, not crimping the whole thing, just that end. That's on there nice and tight. So slide our butt splice onto this one. Give just that side a crimp. So it's on there nice and tight. Give that side a crimp. Really solid. Slide the other wire down there. Give that side a crimp. There we go. It should be aerator side. Turn it over to manual. All right, so we have to get that old housing out of here. Yeah, buddy. And that starts at the back of the boat. We are replacing this one, starboard side. We have already done the port side. So I'm going to set this camera up here, hopefully in a manner to where you guys can see this. So that's on there pretty tight. So the first thing we're going to need is grab our channel locks so we can twist that nut off of there. Sweet. So now we have to get this out of this opening, and all this white is 3M 5200. This next part is usually really fun. giant hole in the boat. And it's time. We're gonna need this, and we need that. We're gonna remove the nozzle. I'm gonna cut it off about right there. Open my nozzle back up. We're ready to go. Now, the best way to do this is on your new pump housing. You've got this flat area right here. This flat area is what's going to rest up against the boat. So we're going to put a generous bead of this stuff. Yep. Seal it squishing out. It's a good thing. I'm able to turn this nut with minimal effort here on the channel locks. You don't want to get into, you see it's starting to feel pretty tight right there with the channel locks. So we're just going to stop right there. So from the nut, because this is going to twist on there and go all the way up against that nut, I'm going to say about an inch. And I can tell you guys, they go on much easier than they come off. Tighten our hose clamp back up. That's pretty tight. All right. We're going into the bilge area with an open flame. Mine's been airing out for several days. Had a fan in here. I know that my fuel tank is not leaking. I do not have any combustible fumes in there, nor do I have any combustible materials in here. Bilge areas of boats and open flames can be dangerous. Oh, like a glove. She's got to sit for about 24 hours. Make sure everything's good and cure. I've went back through and double checked everything. Fittings are all tight. Nuts still tight. Nothing shifted. We got plenty of sealant in there. We're gonna wait for 24 hours. And in 24 hours, we're gonna go back this thing down the boat ramp somewhere. We're gonna leave all this exposed just like this. We're gonna back into the boat ramp. We're gonna test it out. Make sure we don't have any leaks and make sure that the pumps are working. I know they're working from here. They sound good. Boom, just like that, guys. It's been 24 hours. So it's time to go put it in the water and check it. Everything's dry. Through hull fittings aren't leaking. Pumps aren't leaking. Everything looks good. Let me turn them on. So. All right. So the T-800s compared to the T-500s that came in this boat, which I replace the pumps every year, but I always just replace the cartridges. Those new T-800s, that's way more water than what I was getting out of the T-500s. I'm liking that. It's not going to take anywhere near as long to fill the live wells up. Everything's good. Good flow right there. I'll be replacing the Livewell pump out pumps with T-800s. 2010 Phoenix 619 Pro Attwood Livewell Aerator pump replacement. Upgrade from T-500s to T-800s. You guys let me know in the comments if this video helps you guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. I'm actually going to leave here and I'm going up the road to go look at an old aluminum flat bottom boat that used to belong to my grandfather. He sold it. A guy in his park bought it and now he's going to sell it to me. I'm going to take it and fix it up. It's going to be Project 10 rig. I actually took that boat to Chickamauga at one point, but it ain't gonna be my grandfather's boat when I get done with it. So like I said, you guys make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We got good stuff coming. Lake Tahoe fishing reports, Winter Haven chain fishing reports, as well as tips and tricks to help you guys catch more fish, and tips and tricks and how-tos on doing your own boat maintenance. That's it, guys. We'll see y'all.